Fox Sports.
We are the Fox. We are Houston.
Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Today, the interleague finale for the Astros. They meet the Boston Red Sox on this July 4th holiday weekend. Good afternoon, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies. The Red Sox going for a sweep. The Astros looking for some positives. They got one this morning when Hunter Pence, J.D., was named an All-Star.
Well, certainly deserving. Hunter among the league leaders in many offensive categories. Let's hear what Hunter had to say about his selection.
I'm very overjoyed and very humbled. And, the way Borney's been playing, we both hope there's a day that both of us can be on it. I'm grateful that I get this opportunity, and looking forward to representing the Astros.
And has he ever represented them with terrific numbers just past the midway point of the season, J.D.?
Second All-Star selection for Hunter. He went in 09, did not get in the ball game. I suspect Bruce Bochy will get him in there this year. And as I mentioned earlier, very deserving a selection this year. Hunter Pence having his best year ever, a chance to drive in over 100 runs for the first time in his career.
Coming up from Minute Maid Park, it's the finale of this series and of interleague play for the Astros. They face Josh Beckett of Spring, Texas today. He has the second best ERA in the American League. It's Jordan Lyles for the Astros in this interleague finale in just a moment.
Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. It's the final game of interleague play. The Astros taking on the Boston Red Sox. Final game of the homestand. The men setting ready to call all the plays before what looks like it's going to be a full house. Up in the booth, Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies.
Thank you very much, Greg. And it's Jordan Lyles warming up to face this Boston starting lineup. And the Red Sox now currently leading the American League in runs scored with Jacoby Ellsbury, an all-star, leading it off in center field. Dustin Pedroia is the second baseman, batting second. And it's Adrian Gonzalez at first base. He's an all-star for the fourth straight year. Kevin Youkilis is at third with J.D. Drew in right field. Josh Reddick in left. Yamaiko Navarro is the shortstop. Jason Varitek the catcher. And another all-star, Josh Beckett, on the mound.
Jordan Lyles makes his 7th start, still looking for that first win. He's 0-3 with a 4.75 ERA. He's walked only 8 in 36 big league innings so far, while striking out 28.
He goes to work, and it's Jacoby Ellsbury leading it off. The top leadoff man in the majors takes strike one. Scott Berry's behind the plate. 300 batting average for Ellsbury, 9 homers, 40 runs batted in. He has scored 57. Ellsbury was suffering from a little stomach problem Friday night, didn't play, but last night he was 1 for 4 with a walk. Counts 1-1. Jacoby, 27 years old, rolls that one out to second. Matt Downs takes care of it. It's 1 out.
Astros defensively have Lee Bourne and the all-star Hunter Pence in right field. Johnson Barmas, Matt Downs gets a start at second base. He's joined on the right side by Brett Wallace. Carlos Corporan will handle the catching duties this afternoon.
Dustin Pedroia, a 277 hitter with 7 homers, has driven in 38. He backs away from it. It's strike one to Pedroia. Pedroia had the big hit Friday night, and with 38 runs batted in, he's been there several times for key hits this year. Again, he tied the game 5-5 in the 7th inning. And then last night he had 3 hits, so he's 4 for 9 with 3 runs batted in this series. Jordan Lyles shooting for Major League win number 1 in start number 7.
Jordan Lyles will not overpower hitters with his velocity. That one clocked at 91. But he's going to average about 90 miles an hour with that heater. He's got a slider, a cut fastball, a real good curveball, and a changeup.
Grounder, and Chris Johnson to his left tracks it down. 2 outs. Nice tone at the outset by Jordan.
When he's on his game, and we've seen him very good in a number of his starts so far this year. Again, he's still looking for that first win, but he's certainly pitched well enough to earn wins on 2 or 3 occasions. His fastball command generally very, very good. So he throws a lot of strikes without throwing the ball over the heart of the plate. It's good run on his 2-seamer. Usually keeps the ball down around the knees.
Adrian Gonzalez looks at ball 1. Another all-star player with glittering numbers, 353. Second in the majors, 16 homers. He leads the majors in runs batted in with 74. That's a quality pitch. That makes it 1-1. Gonzalez is 4 for 10 with 3 runs batted in this weekend.
Another year you might be thinking triple crown for Gonzalez, but with what Batista and Teixeira are doing in the home run department, he's got a ways to go to catch up to those guys.
Doesn't he, though? Still a sensational year for Adrian at age 29, his first year with the Red Sox. Hit 314 in April, 341 in May, 404 in June. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Red Sox are going for a sweep of this series. They won 7-5 Friday night, coming from behind. The Astros led 5-1 until Boston got 6 in the 7th inning, and then last night it was Boston 10, Houston 4. Still a 2-ball, 2-strike count to Gonzalez. The Red Sox starting to roll now, though they're 4-4 on this road trip. They lost 2 of 3 in Pittsburgh and 2 of 3 in Philadelphia before getting here. A win today gives them their 5th straight winning record on a road trip. And a good tight breaking ball in on Gonzalez. Gets Lyles a strikeout, his first of the game. Puts up a quick 0. Facing the native of Spring, Texas, Josh Beckett, one of the tough pitchers in Major League Baseball right now, will go up against center fielder Michael Bourne on an 11-game hitting streak. Clint Barmas at shortstop. Hunter Pence, the Astros All-Star in right field. Carlos Lee in left field. Matt Downs at second base. Fred Wallace at first. Chris Johnson at third. Carlos Corporon the catcher for Jordan Lyles.
Beckett making his 16th start. He's 6-3 with a 2.20 ERA, third best in the major leagues. That 178 batting average against is the best mark in Major League Baseball.
Michael Bourne puts one foul. There's strike one. So very tough to hit, and he's walked 31 in 98 innings. Josh Beckett, one of the best around. 297 for Michael Bourne, 1 homer, 26 driven in, an 11-game hitting streak. And just swinging it exceptionally well during this stretch. 1-1. Ball where it's pitched. Breaking pitch comes in, and it's 1-2 for Beckett.
Beckett's always had that good curveball. He's throwing a cut fastball now. Fastball averaging about 93 miles an hour. The cutter, the curve, the straight change. This guy's got it going on.
2-2 to Michael Bourne. Beckett's coming off a game which he lost on Tuesday at Philadelphia 5-0. He's won 118. He's lost 77 with a 3.85 ERA. First round pick by Florida in '99. Second player drafted that year after just dominating at Spring High School. Texas 5A High School Player of the Year 2 straight years. Wish he has a lot of family and friends here today. As a senior at Spring, he was 10-1. His ERA was 0.46. In 75 innings, he struck out 155.
How did he lose?
That's a
Who
good
beat him?
question. I don't know that, but it would be interesting to hear that story.
Just a balked home run or something.
Bourne struck out on some high gas at 93 from Beckett. Michael 6 for 10 in the series. No match here for Beckett on this pitch.
And you talked about Michael's good work lately, and that's one thing he hasn't been doing. It's expanding the strike zone. What he did there went after that high heater from Beckett. It's a low percentage play trying to do much with that chest high fastball.
Clint Barmas. Whoa. That one gets away upstairs for ball one. Barmas, a .237 hitter with 3 homers, has driven in 13.
It's a little Sunday morning eye opener.
Absolutely. And that one is shot out into right center field. Barmas got his hands through very nicely. That's excellent work for a 1-out single. His 5-game hitting streak was snapped last night. He just starts another one.
Well, the Red Sox defensively have been very solid this year. Ellsbury kind of controls things in the outfield there. He can really get after it. Drew's been one of the better throwing outfielders over the years. Navarro making his first start, hit a pinch hit home run last night. The veteran Varitek behind the dish. Pedroia, Gonzalez, Euclid, all solid defenders.
Hunter Pence, now a 2-time All-Star. Did not play in the All-Star game in '09. 323, 10 homers, 57 runs batted in. He's on a 7-game hitting streak. He's hit .393 during the last 7. Beckett looks down at his footing after delivering ball one. Hunter has 104 hits. That's 3rd in the league. Very humble, characteristically he is, when doing the interviews about being selected an All-Star for the 2nd time. He said he was hoping that Michael Bourne would be there as well. He did not play in the All-Star game in '09. Certainly hoping to get in this time. Hunter has had a big series, going 5 for 8 with a homer and 4 runs batted in. It's 1-1.
You know he'd love a crack at that home run hitting contest too.
Be fun to watch him take his swings in that. The only loss was to Round Rock, state playoffs. shot into right field on the slider. Hunter just right on it. Runners at first and second now with one out. It's an 8-game streak for Pence, and it's Carlos Lee coming up.
Red Sox scored 3 in the first inning in yesterday's ball game. Kind of got the jump on the Astros. It'd be nice for the Astros could draw first blood here this afternoon. Off to a good start. Good swing of the bat there.
Might have been a cutter, JD.
Yeah, it's all nomenclature, Browning. One man's cutter is another man's slider.
Carlos Lee has this scoring opportunity. 270, 7 homers, 45 runs batted in, 2 on, 1 out. 4-game hitting streak for El Caballo. He looks at the curve, and it's ball 1. Josh Beckett, in his career against the Astros, has pitched 6 times with an ERA of 2.20. That happens to be his ERA overall this season. 2.20, ranking second in the American League. He's 1-1 at Minute Maid Park with a 2.79 ERA in 3 starts. Ripped on a line and caught by Youkilis. Double play, throw to first, not in time. Ooh, some tough luck there for El Caballo, lining out to Uke.
Yeah, you don't want to line out to Uke because you think you're getting booed.
Yeah.
Can't boo a man for hitting a line drive. That's just bad luck.
It's very bad luck. 3 sharply hit balls now. That one found a glove, and it's Matt Downs trying to deliver from the 5 spot in the lineup. Playing second base today with a .284 average, 6 homers, 22 runs batted in. Jeff Keppinger as well, but he's being given an extra day, while Downs, whose bat has been speaking volumes, gets him in the lineup. Strike 1.
Beckett last year battled back problems and only made 21 starts. He was 6-6, had a high ERA, but his strikeout rate was, still good. Stuff is still there. So even though the numbers weren't good for him last year, there was every reason to expect that he would bounce back and pitch well this year. He's gone beyond well. He's an all-star, having a heck of a year. He's only allowed 6 home runs in 98 innings. That helps to tell the story of his turnaround.
He was an all-star in 07. He was 20-7 for Boston that year, and again in 09 he was 17-6 that year. On the infield, it's Pedroia. And Beckett is out of first inning trouble with no runs, 2 hits, 2 men stranded, no score after 1.
Hyundai, it's time to join the movement. Action to the second. who's coming up, don't you, Brown?
You can tell by that uke cheer. Fans have enjoyed doing that. We've had an opportunity to hear from a lot of Red Sox fans this weekend. Youkilis, a .271 hitter with 11 homers, has driven in 56. Jordan Lyles throws strike one to him. Youkilis had 3 hits and an RBI last night. He's 3 for 9 in this series. Happy birthday greetings go out to Oscar Martinez today. Oscar worked some games with us in the booth, but Phil Boudreau has worked every game this homestand.
So it's Booth's fault.
Yeah, he's going with the Ironman ploy this year. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Still 1-2 to Youkilis. This one goes to center field. Michael Bourne waiting. 1 out. That's 4 straight, retired by Jordan Lyles. Jordan came over and glanced at the TV screen in the clubhouse as the selection show was on this morning.
Do you think he was thinking, maybe someday that'll be me?
Maybe so. And it might be. It's off to a nice start in his career. And Brad Mills was talking about getting that validation of good work by getting a win. J.D. Drew hits one high to right field and shallow. Downs is out. Pence behind him calling him off. 2 outs. And it's always nice to have good work validated for a starting pitcher by getting in that win column. He's had 3 quality starts of his 6.
And what a thrill it would be for him if he could get that win against this Red Sox club.
Yes, it would. Against a guy like Beckett.
Considered by many the best team in baseball. There's others that could make that case. Certainly the Yankees, the Phillies. But they're among a handful of clubs that you would put right up there at the top. And with all the history and tradition to be able to look back and say, yeah, I got my first big league W against that Red Sox club.
Good. Josh Reddick has a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Sunday afternoon crowd watching the finale of the homestand. It's 0-2 to Reddick. He's played well given this opportunity for the Red Sox with the injury to Houston native Carl Crawford. That .452 average in 42 at bats. And he swings at one in the dirt. Corcoran throws. 6 straight Red Sox have gone down. Jordan Lyles making quick work of the Sox. No score. play. Last year they were 3-12. It's been a very difficult schedule for them in interleague. 287 for Brett Wallace, 4 homers, 22 driven in.
You know, when you pull out your pocket schedule, if you did that at the beginning of the year, and you know it's color coded for home and away, you would say, hey, June looks good. Astros ought to do well in June. Look at all those home games. And then when you look at the fine print with the teams that are on those darkly shaded squares, you saw that homestand with St. Louis, Atlanta, and an improved Pittsburgh club, and then Tampa, Texas, and the Red Sox. And through all of those home games, the Astros have managed 3 wins.
Lost 15 of 18 at home. What a difficult stretch with the opponents. Very strong. 2 series with the Rangers, then Tampa Bay, and Boston, of course, coming in. So on this homestand, they're 1-7. On the previous homestand, they were 2-8. Terry Francona versus Brad Mills again today.
U of A Wildcats, teammates in college. And then Brad working alongside Tito.
And teammates with the Expos, so they've had a long association. Brett Wallace hit a couple balls hard Friday night. He went 0 for 3, but on a grounder to first hit the ball well, and then he lined out to shortstop. It's one of those tough stretches for Brett. Continues to lead the club in on base average at .379. That one's fouled away. The Red Sox since 2005 have the best interleague record of any team, 84-41. There's the 79 Wildcat team, Brad Mills and Terry Francona, teammates there.
Is Craig Lefferts on that team as well?
Not sure,
because I'm looking at that guy standing next to Tito up there in the corner. It looks kind of like Craig Lefferts.
Sure does. Yes, it does. Wallace is down on strikes.
It's like an episode of CSI, Brownie.
We'll
can
find
identify
out.
these guys.
We will get some DNA evidence. We will identify Mr. Lefferts. That's 2 strikeouts for Beckett. Now Chris Johnson, 245, 6 homers, 34 runs batted in, will follow. We'll get to the bottom of that, JD.
Yeah.
Beckett with a high heat, still effective. He's only 31. It's not as if, you know, he should be on the downhill slide or anything like that. Ball 1, but he's been around so long. Chris with 34 runs batted in is 2 for 7 in this series. It's 1-1 with Carlos Corpron on deck. Red Sox are 2.5 behind the Yankees. They've won 3 in a row now.
It's one of those little baseball statistical oddities. Doesn't really tell much of a story, but it's kind of fun. Josh Beckett has recorded at least 1 strikeout in every one of his major league games. It's the longest active streak in the major leagues, 9th longest overall. He's got to run down Doc Gooden. Doc Gooden had at least 1 strikeout in his first 349 major league games.
Beckett only struck out 1 in that last start.
Yeah, put pressure on you if you don't have one.
It does. Gave up 2 home runs at Philadelphia in that game. Fastball gets him strikeout number 3 here. And you know, it's often said of a good starting pitcher, you better get to him early. Well, the Astros had a chance there in the first, but that line drive to third by Lee really hurt the Astros cause. We go to Greg Lucas.
You know, after the All-Star break, you can catch the Astros at home July 15th through the 20th against the Pirates and the Nationals. Now listen to this. Dynamic pricing tickets. You can purchase select field box tickets starting at only $26 for the series against the Nationals. Visit Astros.com/dynamic for this incredible deal.
Strike 1 to Carlos Corporon. Continues to catch the lion's share of the work. Humberto Quintero continues to work his way back from that ankle sprain. He played his 2nd minor league rehab game last night. That went well. Corcoran's hitting 108 left-handed. And the switch hitter looks at ball one.
Nationals will be coming into town, as Greg mentioned. They're kind of an intriguing team.
They really are. Been playing a lot of low-scoring games. Good pitching.
Well, and all of a sudden they've got some star power over there, and obviously they've got more on the way when Strasburg gets back healthy and Bryce Harper ultimately comes to the big leagues. But the Morse kid's hitting a bunch of home runs, and Espinosa's a candidate for Rookie of the Year.
Yes, he is. About 14 homers.
Jordan Zimmerman, the young starting pitcher, is really pitching well.
He is a good one. Fly ball out to center. Ellsbury makes it a 1-2-3 second for Beckett. No score.
In the storied history of the franchise, I just want to know who have the top 3 home run totals all time from single season for the Boston Red Sox.
Single season.
Single season home run top 3 totals for the Boston Red Sox.
Okay.
David Ortiz.
And that is one. He's number 1, as a matter of fact.
Ooh.
He hit
54
54 in 06.
Tony Conigliaro.
That is not correct.
Jim Rice.
That is almost, but it's not correct. He actually was 4th.
Vern Stevens.
No.
Ted Williams.
And that's another one that's surprising, but no, he only had 43 for his career high. He's not one of the top 3.
How about Tony Armas?
No. I'm going to give you a little bonus on this because technically Ortiz is twice on the top 3 because he had 54 in 06 and 47 in 05. What we want to know is who's number 2.
Oh, okay, it's just one other guy.
Yeah, one other guy.
Johnny Pesky.
They did not name the pole after him
Barrett.
because he used to hit. No.
How about Dewey Evans?
How about going farther back?
Oh, in the Wayback Machine.
Babe Ruth.
No. Contemporary.
Jimmy Fox. There we go.
Very
Jimmy Fox hit 50 in 1938.
Yes, sir.
All right. People at home, stop yelling at your TV. You're calling us idiots because we couldn't come up with Jimmy Fox.
Barry Yastrzemski's high was 44, so was Mo Vaughn, Tony Armas, and Williams had 43, and that was his best. So Ortiz with 54, Fox with 50, and Ortiz with 47. Of course, this won't be official until it's posted. You know, it's like in a racetrack. Once we post the graphic, then it is official. But
while we're doing that, Yamaiko Navarro's the batter, and he's hit 1.
yeah, he's hit 1, and
Carlos Corcoran's got a little cramp or something working.
Sharply hit. Downs gets in front of it. Good strong arm. 1 out.
Now it is official. The AT&T trivia question, top 3 home run seasons. Ortiz has 2 of them. Jimmy Fox, the middle.
They used to call him Jimmy Double X.
Double X.
Was there another Jimmy Fox who was a single X? That's what they used to call him all the time. 1 out, and it's Jason Varitek, the 39-year-old veteran catcher.
Well, at least they didn't call him Foxy.
248 for Varitek. 5 homers, 17 runs batted in. He's seeing his first action in this series, but he hit 2 homers in the final game at Philadelphia on Thursday. There's strike 1 to Varitek.
Jordan Lyles doing what Jordan Lyles does, throws a lot of strikes, and as I mentioned, very few over the middle of the plate. Even against this high-powered Red Sox lineup, he has not backed off.
Pitching inside effectively also. 1-1. That one apparently up a little bit. He was drafted by the Astros out of high school in the 23rd round. Didn't sign with the Twins after being a first-round pick in '93, and then in '94 he was a first-round pick who signed with Seattle, and then he was traded to Boston in '97 with Derek Lowe for Heathcliff Slocum. And that is a trade that will forever live in infamy in Seattle. 3 balls and a strike.
Yeah, and in Boston, it'd get you a contract extension. Pull off that kind of a deal.
Yes, it will.
Run that one right up to ownership.
And he takes a walk to become the first base runner for the Red Sox.
He's had a heck of a career, and he goes all the way back to Little League. Played in the Little League World Series Championship, lost that, but won a high school state championship. Played in the College World Series title game. Was an Olympian, and a couple of World Series rings as well. So he's played in a lot of high pressure situations throughout his life.
Josh Beckett around to bunt, takes ball 1. Beckett is 0 for 2 with no sacrifices this season. Josh has hit 3 career homers with 16 runs batted in. Had more than 200 at bats. Bunts this one back to Lyles. Lyles will go to second, getting the force on Varitek. Downs to first. Or Barmas to first, rather, not in time. It's down stretch for it. Barmas went up and over, and that was really close at first, but the throw, it appeared, pulled Downs off a little bit.
Varitek not a speedy guy, so you got to get down a good bunt to advance him. He was not able to deaden it enough. And Lyles, he got the lead man, and then Downsy just could not keep contact with the base.
Throw drifted a little bit.
Yeah, and I'd have to look at it again, but Clay had time to get some momentum moving through that ball as he received it and get off a better throw. He was kind of caught back on his heels.
Sure looked like it. Yep.
I think he was anticipating Varitek getting on him a little more quickly than he did.
Strike 1 to Ellsbury, who grounded out to second earlier. Jacoby, an Oregon Stater.
Sometimes that play can be hard for a middle infielder because the timing of it is such. See, he's cheating there. He's already at the bag when the throw comes. So, typically on a double play ball, he's moving towards the throw and has some momentum, some flow going. And then he's able to just carry on with the throw across. That time he was already stationed at the base, flat-footed.
1-2. Ellsbury returned to the leadoff spot April 22nd. He's hit .325 since then. 2-2, but he also gives that leadoff power to Terry Francona's lineup. With 9 homers, he's already tied the most he's hit in any major league season. Three and 2. Lyles is 0-2 at home in 3 starts with an ERA of 5.00. Last time out, Texas beat Jordan Lyles 7-3 on Tuesday. He gave up 10 hits and 5 runs in 6 innings. Beckett was moving on the pitch, and it's fouled. Keep the count at 3-2. The start at Texas prior to last Tuesday, a very good one for Jordan. He got a no decision, going 7 innings in the heat and allowing 3 runs. Left with a 4-3 lead. The Astros lost it in the 11th, 5-4. Beckett takes off again, and that pitch is hit out over second baseman Downs into right center field. Hunter pants, and it's a hit. Hunter went for it, but Ellsbury gets a hit. First hit of the day for the Red Sox, with Beckett taking third.
Now the inability to get the double play looms large as the Red Sox get their first base hit of the game. And they have runners on first and third.
Dustin Pedroia is the batter. The Arizona Stater, who's 27 years old, one of the premier players at his position, gets up in an RBI situation. Grounded to third first time up. He takes strike 1.
He didn't make the All-Star team, did he?
No, he didn't. A bunch of us were watching for that, thinking he might. He was an All-Star in 08 and 09. Last year he had a broken foot. And he had only 302 at-bats last season. 1 ball, 1 strike. Giants lead the Tigers 3-1 after 5 in Detroit. Brendan Bosch hit his 12th home run for the Tigers. Two and 1 on a close one. Did you see the injury to pitcher Fausto Carmona of Cleveland?
Yeah, I did.
Hate to laugh, but that was awkward. Running up the first base line from home to first, about halfway up. And then he did face plant after that. Runner takes off from first. Corcoran with no throw. Ellsbury steals it. He's the American League leader. That's number 26 for him. And we were thinking before the game about that interleague game here with Chin-Min Wong and the Yankees hurting his ankle so badly, trying to score from second on a single. And he's had arm problems since then, but he has never been the same since that injury here. And apparently some kind of quadriceps injury for Fausto Carmona. One to Pedroia now. And he takes a walk below the bases for Gonzalez. Second walk of the inning for Lyles.
He did not want to give in there, but now he's in a bit of a bind in that he's got the bases juiced. He's got the Major League RBI leader striding up to home plate. He's got the pitching coach sprinting out to the mound.
Lyles came into this game with only 8 walks in 36 innings. Now 2 bases on balls in the third have him facing Gonzalez, needing to make some pitches. Gonzalez last night with the 3 hits, but Friday night, oh, he looked bad on his first 3 at bats, and then he came up in a key situation with the game tied 5-5 and hit a 2-run double.
A little bit like Joey Votto.
Yeah,
Took a couple bad hacks and then hit a rocket somewhere.
looks at ball 1.
We've talked a lot about it. Patience and power. So important to be a good run producing club. Draw a lot of walks, hit the ball out of the ballpark. The Red Sox do both of those things. They walked almost 100 more times than the Astros this year.
2-0. Red Sox have scored 432 runs this year in 82 games. Fly ball to center, Michael Vaughn. Big out in this game as the Red Sox leave the bases loaded and a scoreless game in the third.
Houston is brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible by your local Texas Ford dealers. And by Jack in the Box. For a limited time, get Jack's really big chicken sandwich for $3.99 plus tax at participating restaurants.
That should work quite well on a day like this, even though it is air conditioned. Pretty hot outside. That'll cool the palate a bit. And the fans have been watching for a breakthrough in this game. The Red Sox had 2 walks and a single from Ellsbury and a 2-0 count on Gonzalez. And then the fly ball to center field got Lyles out of the top of the third. Now it's Lyles leading off the bottom half. Jordan with 1 hit in 9 at-bats. That came very early in his career as he made his debut in Chicago on May 31st. He got a hit with Carlos Zambrano on the mound for the Cubs. And Jordan in that game had a 1-0 lead until the 8th inning. He wound up allowing 2 runs in 7 innings plus, and then got a no decision. Beckett delivers, and it's ball 1. Astros have hit .284 in interleague play. 1 ball, 1 strike. They'll be in Pittsburgh for a day game tomorrow. The Pirates will be here right after the All-Star break. 1-2 for Beckett. Beckett's pitched in several low-scoring games this year. Red Sox have been shut out in 2 of his starts, and in 6 of his starts the Red Sox have scored 3 runs or less. Strike 3 call. That's the 4th strikeout for Beckett. And Beckett has started 4 games that went to extra innings. Our leaders of the game is brought to you by United, proud to fly the Houston Astros. In the last 10 days, Michael Bourne's 14 hits are tied for the 3rd most in the National League, behind Jose Reyes with 19 and Brandon Phillips with 15. Reyes just got hurt yesterday. Michael struck out leading off this game. Shortening up, he takes strike 1. Phillies lead 4-3 at Toronto. They're in the bottom of the 6th inning with Cliff Lee on the hill for Philadelphia.
Cliff's given up runs.
That's a story, isn't it?
Gave up 1 the entire month of June.
1 ball, 1 strike. It's Cincinnati 7, Cleveland 2. They played 5 in Cincinnati. Heisey and Renteria have gone deep for Dusty Baker. Fly ball hit out to shallow center. Ellsbury moving in. 2 outs for Beckett. And Clint Barmas will come around for the 2nd time. Clint single to right center in the 1st inning. Yankees and Mets just underway. No score after a half inning at Citi Field with Freddie Garcia going for the Yankees.
Yeah, they had a rain delay.
Final day of interleague play. You don't want to make up a rain out from that final day. Have to stick it in somewhere else on a day off in the schedule. There's strike 1 to Clint Barmas. It's St. Louis 1, Tampa Bay 1. They're in the top of the 5th at Tampa Bay. Yadier Molina hit his 5th home run. 1-1. Lance Berkman, an all-star again. Congratulations to Lance.
4th time. Check that, 6th time. 2nd time he's been elected by the voters, by the fans. Soon the conversation, the snub conversation will start.
Yeah.
I've got my guy, Andrew McCutchen.
Ooh. Yeah.
He's one of the best players in the National League.
Is he on the final vote in by the fans?
No, he's not even on the final vote. It's,
really?
Andre Ethier, Todd Helton, Ian Kennedy, Mike Morse, and Shane Victorino, all deserving.
Yeah.
And so are all the guys that are currently on the All-Star team. Pretty much all the guys are deserving.
rolled foul, first base side. But Barmas alertly is moving up the first baseline because balls have been known to go fair when they do that sometimes. There's the final vote off with Ethier, Helton, Kennedy, Morse, and Victorino, and fans can vote at MLB.com through Thursday, July 9th. Who would you vote for out of that group?
Andrew McCutcheon.
Okay.
Out of this group?
Yeah.
I don't know. I might vote for Todd Helton just because he's Todd Helton. To honor the great career he's had.
He's having a pretty good year.
Yeah, he is.
Beckett strikes out Barmas. That's number 5. And through 3, there's no score. Through 3, 1 hit for the Red Sox, 2 for the Astros. The Astros had a first inning threat. Runners at first and second, 1 out. Carlos Lee crushed a line drive caught by Kevin Youkilis. And it's Youkilis who leads off the 4th inning. He hit a fly ball to center in the 2nd. Ball 1 to him with Drew and Reddick to follow. Actually, right-handed hitters are hitting for a higher average against Jordan Lyles. 303. Lefty's 242. 1-1. Milwaukee 1, Minnesota 1. They've played 3 in Minnesota. Red Wallace going over to foul territory, still giving chase on this one. Will not get to it.
How about those teams last night? Twins had a 7-0 lead, and the Brewers came all the way back to beat them 8-7.
They sure did. Big game for Nyjer Morgan, and a big game for them today. Already.
That's it. Anything else that happens the rest of the day is gravy.
Smashed on a line into center field. Youkilis still limping a little bit from that bruise on his ankle from the foul ball a few days ago as a leadoff single here. Chris Johnson's father, Ron, the first base coach, takes the gear from him, and now it's J.D. Drew coming up. Drew hit a fly ball to right in the 2nd. Still trying to find his success that he's had in the past. And there's ball 1. He's been lunging at off-speed pitches. Still has that black eye from the bunt in batting practice coming up and clobbering him. That was last Sunday. 1-1. And general manager Theo Epstein has indicated he is not content with the Red Sox roster, according to one story, and says the club will be exploring trade opportunities in the next month, including for a right fielder. Two and one, because they've used Drew in right and Mike Cameron, who's now been designated for assignment. He was hitting about 150, and Darnell McDonald, who last night hit a long 3-run homer, but he was hitting 115 before that game last night. Drew takes a look at ball 3.
So they're not just looking for an extra bat, they're looking for an everyday right fielder.
Yeah,
sounds like.
He says, I have to be encouraged by the fact that we can be where we are without getting much from right field, according to Theo Epstein. He said we will improve, it will get better. And Drew draws a walk. First and second, nobody out now. That's the third walk for Lyles, with Reddick coming up next.
Lyles wiggled off the hook last inning, left the bases loaded, but right back into the fire now. Single walk, first and second, nobody out. The good news here is he's heading toward the bottom of the Red Sox lineup.
Reddick, the number 6 hitter, struck out in the second inning. Strike one over the outside part of the plate to Reddick. Baltimore 3, Atlanta nothing. They're in the top of the 5th in Atlanta. Big swing and a curve. That makes it 0-2. Reddick takes a little walk out of the batter's box after that. Red Sox can really wear pitchers down. We've seen that in this series. And if you've watched the Red Sox at all, you've seen it probably in a number of games. One and 2. 63 pitches so far for Lyles, 34 strikes. Foul ball to Brett Wallace. Still 1 and 2 to Reddick with Navarro on deck. It's a great time of year, though, in baseball, with the All-Stars being selected today and anticipation of that game coming up next week. Just past the halfway point of the season. A lot of the races are really good in the various divisions. And the Astros will be in Pittsburgh the next 3 days to see a surprise team in the Pirates. They're 42 and 41. That's a strikeout. Number 3.
Second time he's gotten Reddick, and he gave him the whole kit there, boy. He showed him slider, curveball, and finished him with a changeup. You talked about his numbers versus right and left, and that's one of the reasons why he's been so tough on lefties. Reddick way out on that front foot. Couldn't keep the hands back long enough to get a piece of that good changeup.
Navarro's the batter. He grounded out to second earlier. Marco Scutaro getting a rest today as Navarro plays short. That's looped into right center field. Youkilis to third. Stop sign there, and the throw comes into Wallace. Youkilis looked over his shoulder before taking off. Navarro singles to load the bases.
Yeah, that's one of those balls easier to read from up here or in the stands than it is from field level. And clearly that was going to be a base hit, but Youkilis down on field level does not have the perspective that we do from up here, so he has to hesitate, can't afford to get doubled off. And because of that, third base is as far as the former Bearcat can go.
Yeah, Bearcat. University of Cincinnati, that's right. Jason Varitek walked in the third inning.
He could be Doug Brocail's brother.
Yeah. He pops it back, and there's strike one with Josh Beckett on deck. So Jordan Lyles would love a double play ball right here. Only Carl Yastrzemski, Ted Williams, and Jim Rice have played more seasons with Boston than Varitek among the players who only played for Boston. MC is for captain. Pretty rare in baseball. They have a captain.
Yeah. It's kind of a Yankee thing, so the Yankees can do it. The Red Sox have to do it.
Veritek has played 63 postseason games. He has caught 4 no-hitters.
So Jeter, Veritek, and Milo Hamilton.
Yeah.
The 3 captains.
That's it, huh? In all of baseball, 63 postseason games. Big Papi has 57. Well, back in his heyday, Veritek was driving in 85 runs one year, 25 homers. That was in 03. That's some 70 RBI years.
Yeah, solid catcher, a switch hitter with power. Helps explain why he's been around so long.
Good pitch.
And a dose of changeup that Reddick saw.
2-2. And that's part of the difficulty, isn't it, facing these Red Sox hitters? They know the strike zone really well, so you have to try to get them to swing the bat somehow, but prevent them from making solid contact.
Well, you have to fight the inclination to give in. What happens when you face a patient team and you're trying to hit spots, and if you don't get calls, or you find yourself in hitters counts, you've got to make a decision. Okay, am I going to challenge this guy, throw a cookie right in there, or am I going to try to fool him? And that's why Lyles has been effective with that changeup, and that's why so many people think he's going to be a very good major league pitcher for a good long while, because he does have such good command of his secondary pitches. He doesn't have to give in with the fastball in hitters counts.
Grounded slowly. Wallace will come home. High throw, and the Red Sox score to make it 1-0. Wallace was going for a force at the plate on Youkilis, but the throw was high. Corcoran unable to make that play. Now Youkilis is hurt.
He was hurting when he was running between second and third. Not sure what's going on, but you could see him earlier. He was grimacing and limping a little bit. Wallace makes the right play here, comes home, but a little bit off balance when he makes the throw, and it sails on him. Maybe didn't have the grip. He didn't have a whole lot of time to set himself and make that throw. Corcoran steps on Youkilis a couple of times.
That's what hurts. But he was limping. Now Beckett with the bases loaded. Taking ball 1. It was ruled a fielder's choice and an error on Wallace, his 6th of the year, allowing Youkilis to score there. Yeah, there you see on that ankle. Beckett pops it up. Infield fly called. 2 outs. It landed on the right ankle of Youkilis.
And then when he goes to get the ball, he pushes off. You got to have something to push off on, so he might as well use his ankle for good measures. And you were trying to take me out. I'd caught that ball, I would have been on my backside. So here, take a little of that. Take that back to the dugout with you.
Jacoby Ellsbury is 1 for 2. Ball 1 to him. And, it goes back to a lot of games that the Astros have had against good teams like the Red Sox this year. You just find yourself trying to avoid making mistakes, and if you make one, that can really mushroom on you. Fouled away 1-1.
Well, that's the other part about it. You talk about working counts and making a pitcher work hard. It also keeps the line moving when you're able to draw walks. And even though they left the bases loaded and they're not sure how this inning is going to play out, but they've only got 1 run on the board so far. But here's Ellsbury getting his 3rd plate appearance in the 4th inning.
Yeah.
So they're getting multiple looks at starting pitchers that other clubs don't get.
Very good point.
generally, when you look at those numbers, when a team sees a pitcher for the third time in a game, the batting averages start to go up. They start to get a sense of what the guy's doing. They've seen his pitches. They're able to gauge his velocity and movement.
Foul off a bunch of pitches. They make the pitcher throw strikes. Ground ball, and they've seen more pitches than any other major league team again this year. That's nothing new.
Well, that's why they and the Yankees always play those 4.5 hour, 9-inning games.
Check swing foul. Keeps the count of 1-2 on Ellsbury. Pittsburgh is leading 8-2 in the bottom of the fourth at Washington. David Ortiz not at all pleased that he's not in the lineup. He just wants to play. A story about him today. He did play last night. Well, he had 2 at-bats and a walk, so he got to play 3 times. And he got pulled from the game. But this is a difficult stretch for a guy like him because it's just been tough for Terry Francona to get him in the lineup. He's played first a couple of times with Adrian Gonzalez moving to right field. But he's missing out on at-bats that he would normally be getting.
He's been in a bit of a funk for his last 20, 22, something like that. And, you know, if he plays in these National League games, it weakens the Red Sox defensively at 2 positions. I mean, he's a decent first baseman, but Gonzalez is really good. And then, so then you'd be sticking Adrian in the outfield.
Rip foul. And this is the real mind game for Jordan Lyles. After the foul balls and after all the pitches in the inning, how do you get out of this? 6 straight foul balls now. Still 1-2 as number 7 comes off the bat of Ellsbury.
Well, 2-3 pitches ago, they went upstairs with a fastball, trying to get a swing and a miss up there. Wouldn't be surprised to see Corcoran call for another one of those. Nope.
Poked in the ear to left. Carlos Lee's waiting for it. And in the fourth, the Red Sox break the tie with 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, 3 men left. It's 1-0 Boston. brings to the plate the Astros 3-4-5 hitters, Pence, Lee, and Downs, against Josh Beckett. Red Sox pitching with the 8th best ERA in the American League, 3.96. Bolstered by a good start last night from Andrew Miller. The lefty won with 6 innings of 7-hit 2-run baseball. Boston taking it 10-4. Tim Wakefield started the opening game Friday night, gave up 5 hits in 5 1/3 innings. And now Beckett versus Pence. Hunter lined a single to right field in the first.
It would have been nice to get one of those first 2 games in this series, have one in the bank before facing Beckett. Astro hitters caught a little bit of a break this weekend, and not to diminish the accomplishments of Wakefield or the efforts of Miller, but Bunkholz is on the DL. John Lester pitched right before coming to town, so they missed a couple of the better starting pitchers in the American League. I knew they had to deal with Beckett here on Sunday afternoon, but unfortunately couldn't hold that lead Friday night. Last night's game was competitive until the Red Sox threw a 4 spot on the board in the 8th and opened up an otherwise close game. Looked like a blowout in the end, but for the most part it was a pretty tight ball game.
Foul back, and it's 1-2. The Red Sox really seem to just provide a wearing down effect on their opponents. And we've seen that breakout in the late innings. They got 6 in the 7th inning Friday. And last night it was a 4-run 8th with single runs in the 7th and 9th. So winning the first 6 innings against them is nothing to celebrate about. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And they just have so much firepower. And if you don't pitch well, they're going to exploit it. Tech's running out of options back there. For the 4-seamer, the 2-seamer, cutter, changeup. They want to throw a little front door cutter.
Fouled away. Beckett, the World Series MVP with the Florida Marlins in 03. All this seasoning and big game experience, playoffs, World Series, tough man to beat.
Mad at himself because he obviously shook. He wanted to throw that pitch. He had a notion of what he wanted to do with that pitch. Probably thought he could get Hunter to jam himself, but he didn't make the pitch.
Strikeout number 6. Carlos Lee crushed a line drive, but it was right at Kevin Youkilis at third in the first inning with 2 men on. Beckett has allowed exactly 2 runs in each of his last 5 starts against the Astros. Ball 1. His winning percentage with the Red Sox is the 4th best in their club history. A record of 77 and 43 in a Boston uniform. Slowly hit to shortstop. Navarro took extra time, 2 outs. Matt Downs comes up.
I'm watching Beckett pitch. It reminds me a little bit of Clemens, a little bit of Nolan Ryan. The other, when you think about Texas fireballing right-handers, there's a long lineage. And like those other 2, he doesn't like to give in. He's not just pumping that first pitch over the heart of the plate. Some guys like to, I'm going to throw strike 1 and then try to get to it expand. He's trying to hit spots right out of the gate. So he doesn't throw a high percentage of first pitch strikes typically. He's shooting for corners. And he's got good enough stuff where he can afford to do that. If he falls behind, it's not that big of a deal. He still has the ability to overpower you with the fastball, and he's got the good breaking stuff to go with it.
Fouled off, and it's no balls, 2 strikes. Last year was the worst season of Beckett's career. The strained back muscle J.D. talked about. He missed nearly 9 weeks. He was 6-6 with a 5.78 ERA. Boston Herald did some research. There were 69 instances of a pitcher in his 30s with an ERA of 5.75 or higher with 125 innings. Only 3 times did the pitcher recover to come back to his form. Prior to that, Darryl Kyle, Tim Belcher, and Livan Hernandez all did it. But Beckett is on a path to do that, certainly. And most of the guys on that list were in their late 30s. Beckett had just turned 31. He's a hard worker in the wintertime around this area. He's gotten himself back in good shape. Strikes out Downs at strikeout number 7 for Beckett with a 1-0 lead for the Red Sox through 4.
Time for our progressive fan of the game. As they have been doing all season long, the Astros honoring members of the military today who have been deployed and who have come home. Up in this suite, we got several members of the U.S. Air Force as well as the U.S. Navy. Standing to my right are Matt Renteria and Celeste Padilla. Now, the interesting thing about these two is they serve. They're based out of Ellington, but they're also dating now, and both have been deployed. You have been to?
I've been to Iraq and Afghanistan.
Okay.
And I was there for a year in Afghanistan. She's also been to Iraq twice. So.
Okay. And when did you guys meet? How did you start dating?
Well, we met a little over 5 years ago, and then we started dating before he left for his trip to Afghanistan. We got a little closer, and while he was gone, a lot closer, just riding back and forth. And we're doing really good, and now it's been over a year and a half, and we're happy together.
Well, that's great. Congratulations to you. So when you're deployed over there, obviously you miss your family. What else do you miss about being back home?
Well, number one, I miss the Astros baseball games, that's for sure.
Of course.
I miss all the sporting events, just family and friends, and just being back in my hometown. So.
Now, are you going back? Another deployment?
Not anytime soon. We do have buckets coming up, but I'm not scheduled to go anytime soon. Of course, they're always looking for volunteers when there's a lot of openings. So anytime, anywhere you can go. Short ones, long ones.
Well, we're certainly glad you're back home, at least for today. So welcome to the game, and thanks for being with us. You're the fan of the game.
Thank you very
guys
much.
split that up between the two of you, okay? Rowdy, back to you.
Thank you, Bart. That pitch to Pedroia spun him out of there. Now he wants one foul out of play.
You know he was going to take a big swing.
Yeah.
Well, he swings big all the time, but it's just his makeup. He's a hard-nosed guy. Got a base hit the other night after chirping at the home plate umpire. He didn't like the strike call earlier in that bat, and he got a base hit, and he's about halfway down the first baseline, turning back over his shoulder, yelling at the umpire, getting one last shot in. He's got a little Dykstra in him.
He does. 3-2 to Pedroia. He's walked more than he has struck out this year. Out in front on that one, but he fouls it out of play.
Yeah, he's an interesting hitter. He's not a real big guy, but he takes that big swing, and he's got a long stride, but he keeps the hands back. So even when he looks fooled, he keeps the hands back and through the zone. So he's able to make contact, even in balls that he's way out in front of.
And he draws a walk. His second, and number 4 for Lyles. Pedroia 15 for 17 in stolen bases, reaching for Gonzalez, who's 0 for 2.
So the 4th walk issued by Jordan now this afternoon. He came into this game with just 8 in his previous 6 starts.
He had not walked more than 2 in any one game. Gonzalez struck out and hit a fly ball to center on a 2-0 count with the bases loaded. Pedroia set sail. Corporon with the throw and safe at second base. Lamas tried to hang in there, but the throw was drifting. So Pedroia gets steal number 16. Two for the Red Sox today. Ellsbury got 1 in the 3rd inning.
Well, this Corporon's inflicting some pain. He stepped on Youkilis, and now he drills Pedroia with his throw. On his own little way. Exacting some revenge on the Red Sox.
74 steals allowed by the Astros in 91 attempts. Now 2-0 to Gonzalez. Three balls, no strikes. Youkilis on deck.
That's going on in the Astros bullpen right now. May change in short order here if he walks Gonzalez.
He does walk Gonzalez. That's number 5, and Youkilis bats with runners at first and second, nobody out. Corporon going out. Doug Brocail is the only Astros pitcher to beat the Red Sox in interleague play. And he had back-to-back wins against them in relief. That was in 08 at Minute Maid Park. Now Doug coming out to the mound. Youkilis singled to center to start the 4th inning and came around to score that run. He's 1 for 2. Toronto just come up with 4 in the bottom of the 8th to take a 7-4 lead over Philadelphia. And Mr. Jose Bautista connected for home run number 27 off Cliff Lee. Edwin Encarnacion added number 6 off Lee. Earlier, Eric Thames had hit number 3 off Lee. So Cliff tagged for 10 hits and 7 runs, 6 of them earned in 7 1/3 innings. Saw the pitching line on Jordan Lyles. Big situation for him here. The appeal went to first. He checked the swing. Wally Bell with the call.
Might appeal. How about right down the middle? Belt high.
One and one. You kind of wonder about that Philadelphia bullpen now. Lee was left in to take a beating today. But definitely DEFCON 8 with that bullpen right now for Charlie Manuel with all the injuries they've had. So probably tend to think about going with a starter like Lee. Longer. Been so good.
Yeah, with Lee and Hamels and Halladay. When they're out there, I think the mindset is even if they're scuffling a little bit, they're better than Plan B.
Now 2-2 to Youkilis.
An atypical start for Lee in that he allowed 6 earned runs and 10 hits, but typical in that he walked nobody and struck out 9. So even when he's bad, he's good.
Yeah. Now full count for Youkilis, who drove in 115 in 08 with the Red Sox. Has a 392 on base average. J.D. Drew's on deck. And he struck him out. Number 4 for Lyles. Good action on it.
Yeah, good. Lively fastball there, and Youkilis upset at himself. I don't think so much for not making contact, but for offering at that pitch was probably ball 4.
Yeah. Barmas in between hops, steps on second, throws out Drew on a 6-3 double play. To end the 5th inning for Boston with no runs, no hits, and a man stranded. It's 1-0 Red Sox after 4.5.
Kids Free All Summer, presented by Minute Maid, is available for every home game this summer. For every full-price adult ticket you purchase in the outfielder view deck sections, you can get up to 2 free tickets for kids 14 and under. Astros.com is where you visit for tickets.
Brett Wallace with a drive to right center field. Ellsbury trying to track it down. That bounces and goes high and stays in play. Wallace will head for second and stop there on the directions of Dave Clark, and a good idea because Pedroia's throw was zipped over to Youkilis at third. A leadoff double for Wallace after 11 straight Astros had been retired by Beckett.
Yeah, nobody out in the inning. You're not going to take a chance there. Base runner is very precious the way Beckett is pitching today, and a base runner in scoring position doubly so. But he gets extended through this low fastball and almost drives it out of here.
Pedroia with that strong throw to third. That's hit number 3 for the Astros, the first for extra bases. Wilton Lopez throwing for Houston. Chris Johnson the batter. And it's in the dirt for ball 1. Jordan Lyles has thrown 101 pitches through 5 innings. And he's had to deal with bases loaded situations in the 3rd and 4th, and then the walks to the first 2 men in the 5th inning. And his spot would be coming up after Corporon.
Gutsy performance by Lyles on the ropes, but able to pitch out of trouble.
1-1.
And check out the way this last inning ended. Jordan Lyles, we talk a lot about his composure. This is after that inning-ending double play, and he's just as blasé as could be. No pumping of the fist, no bouncing up and down. Just, hey, that's what I do. It's my job to get outs.
It's 1-2. The Astros are talking about the innings load for Jordan Lyles and what they want that to be this year. He had 160 innings last year between Corpus Christi and Round Rock. 5 innings so far today. That gives him 41 at the major league level, and he had 59 at Oklahoma City. Sometimes teams will decide with a pitcher like Jordan Lyles, who figures to be and is on a pace to greatly surpass the highest total he's had in professional baseball. Well, we'll give him extra time between starts, maybe move him back to the back spot in the rotation after the All-Star break, or skip him before the break or something like that to give him that extra rest.
And if it comes down to it, you can just shut him down in September at some point.
True.
It's the luxury you have when you're not in contention. If you're looking for a silver lining, there it is.
That's strikeout number 8.
Because you kind of throw that all out the window if you got a chance to win. If you're in contention, then you're willing to ask a little bit more of a young guy.
True. Our Corcoran, who hit the fly ball to center, comes up with Wallace at second after the strikeout by Beckett. Pitcher spot due up next. Angel Sanchez is coming out to the on-deck circle to pinch hit for Lyles. The run the Red Sox scored in the 4th inning is unearned. This one goes to center. Ellsbury backing. Wallace back to tag. Wallace will hold. 2 outs. And it'll be the former Red Sox infielder Angel Sanchez pinch hitting for Lyles. Lyles in 5 innings will have the Red Sox 3 hits, 1 run, not earned. He walked 5 and struck out 4. Wilton Lopez warming up as Sanchez bats.
And I don't think the 5 walks are necessarily an indication that Lyles was wild today, as much as it was the fact that the Red Sox were just so patient. And being the dangerous hitters that they are, or so many of them are anyway, you don't want to just start pumping the ball over the middle.
Ball 1 to Sanchez. Started at second last night. That was his 3rd straight start. Went 1 for 3 with an RBI. Now David Carpenter's warming up for the Astros. That's a shot past the diving Pedroia. Wallace is coming to the plate. Ellsbury with a throw to the infield. It's a 1-1 game. Pinch hit RBI single while the Red Sox Angel Sanchez come through.
And nice to make that leadoff double pay off. Wallace delivered to get it started, and then Sanchez off the bench to tie the ball game.
30th pinch hit for the Astros as a team. Here it is.
It's Angel at his best right there, just hitting a line drive up the middle.
Now it's 1-1 with Michael Bourne batting. He is struck out and flied to center. Euclid in on the grass. And it's strike 1 to Michael. Beckett has been a tough luck pitcher away from Fenway, 4-3 despite a 2.87 road ERA. Sanchez is 2 for 2 in stolen bases. No balls, 2 strikes. Beckett's only thrown 68 pitches in the game. He mowed down 11 in a row until the Wallace double.
He's been the road warrior this year. This is his 4th consecutive start on the road and 6 out of his last 7 away from Fenway.
Still no balls, 2 strikes.
Beckett hasn't pitched in his home ballpark since, well, he did. He pitched June 4th against Oakland. Prior to that, May 19th.
He's had some injury time. Missed a couple starts this year. Last time he faced the Astros was here in 08. Sanchez takes off, and the throw on the wrong side. He's safe. Pitch was ball 1 to Michael Bourne, and on the 0-2, Sanchez got his 3rd steal in as many tries.
I think that situation there, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and Brad Mills saying, Sanchez not a base stealer, but let's turn him loose. And even if he gets thrown out, we'll have Michael Bourne starting with a fresh count next inning. Off speed, backdoor breaking ball. Now able to beat the throw.
And a strikeout by Beckett ends it in the Astros 5th. They tie it. Despite his 9th strikeout, he allows a run on 2 hits with a man stranded at second base, and it's 1-1 through 5.
By Gullo, treating you like family. We're tied. A new pitcher on the mound for the Astros. Here's Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies to tell us about it.
Well, he's a rookie, David Carpenter, Greg, and as you have watched, you've seen him make his debut this week in 2 major league games. He has an ERA of 0, and against Texas on Thursday night, struck out his first major league hitter, Greg Gentry, pitched a hitless inning, and then Friday night, he came in with the bases loaded and retired Josh Reddick, the only man he faced.
Now, hard-throwing right-hander, mid-90s fastball. He had struck out 38 men over 33 innings between AA and AAA this year. He's absolutely lighting it up for Oklahoma City when he got called to the big leagues. Brad Mills, the way the bullpen has been this year, he's just looking for a hot hand.
Reddick has struck out in the 2nd and the 4th innings. Fastball's fouled away. There's strike 1. Carpenter has been working on polishing his slider this year. Converted catcher obtained from the Cardinals in the Pedro Feliz trade. seen a lot of fastballs so far in his early appearances. It's 0-2, and he has a good one. And he's headed for home after this game. He's from West Virginia, not far from Pittsburgh.
That's right. That's the big Pitt plays West Virginian football every year. They got a name for the backyard brawl or something, or what do they call that?
Not sure. But yeah, that's been a good rivalry for many years. 2 balls, 2 strikes. J.R. House, a catcher who played briefly with the Astros, was a quarterback for West Virginia. A very good one. It's 3-2. Can't remember too many other West Virginia University guys playing for the Astros down through the years. Other than JR.
No, I don't think that they've turned out a lot of major league talent over the years.
David was born right there in Morgantown. That's out to right center field. Hunter Pence going over. 1 out.
Birthday wishes today. Harry Pinkerton right there having that cold beverage, celebrating birthday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He started the detective agency?
He did, yep. And Moises Alou. Danny Heap. That last guy is a cinematography brownie.
Really?
Yep.
You made that up.
Danny Heap, he holds a special place in Astros history.
Sure does.
Couple, right?
Yeah, a couple.
Traded for Mike Scott.
Right.
And Nolan Ryan, strikeout victim, what?
4,000.
4,000. Danny Uriah Heap.
Good pinch hitter. Ball 1-2 Navarro. Navarro is 1 for 2. Grounds at the second. Downs is there. Over to Wallace for the second out for Carpenter. Well, Carpenter has really been on a meteoric rise through the organization. He started at AA, Corpus Christi, and then the 19 straight scoreless innings at AAA, Pacific Coast League All-Star. That'll make your head spin a little bit sometimes. Jason Varitek has walked and hit that ground ball to Wallace, and Euclid scored on it. It was ruled an error on Wallace. This is cranked toward the left field corner. That ball ricochets off the wall back toward third base. Carlos Lee gets it to Barmas, relaying on to Downs. A double for Varitek, his 6th. Hit number 4 for Boston.
Well, if anybody knows not to make an assumption when hitting a ball on the line over the left fielder's head, it's a Boston Red Sox player. Because of the green monster, doubles turn into singles there. And if you're not careful, you'll be thrown out. So Varitek with his line drive to left, hustling all the way, stays in the ballpark, but he's able to get 2 bases.
Hit high up on the wall. Now it's Beckett, and we've got a little interesting by-play between the fans of the Red Sox and Astros going on. Because of all that cheering by the Red Sox fans for the Varitek double, now the Let's Go Astros chant has started. And there's strike 1. There's the slider from Carpenter. Breaks it out on Beckett. Josh is 0 for 2. Kept it down very well. Each club with 4 hits. One ball, 1 strike. And the plan all along when Carpenter arrived from Oklahoma City was to use him in the earlier inning relief situations before the 8th and 9th. One and 2. Not to say he couldn't move his way up the ladder, though.
If I were Brad Mills, I think I would have no ladder.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd even have a closer. And Mark Melancon's done a real nice job in that role, but I mean, to try to use Mark as a traditional closer is awfully hard because the Astros don't win that many games.
True.
So you don't get to, you're having a hard time keeping him sharp. I'd almost be inclined to go, okay, here's the deal. You guys are all my relief pitchers, and maybe on almost a daily basis saying, okay, I'm going to use you long. You guys are going to be kind of long, you're middle, and I'm going to try to use you guys short. But Mark, don't be surprised if I get you up in the 7th inning. There might be a crisis situation where I feel like you're the best guy for the job to get us out of it. It's easy for me to sit up here and say that. It's tougher for a manager to get his pitchers to buy into that because guys get hung up on that whole I got to know my role thing. But if ever it was possible, it would be with this group, so many young guys.
Right. Yeah, if you've got a year or less than that in the big leagues, you're probably not going to be saying I need to know my role. Beckett strikes out. That ends the 6th for Boston with no runs, a hit, and one man left for David Carpenter, who keeps it tied 1-1. In the 4th inning, when Youkilis scored on the error by Wallace, and Boston got that first run home, then the Astros tied it on a pinch RBI single with 2 outs in the 5th inning by Sanchez, scoring Wallace, who had led off that frame with a double. So as Josh Beckett gets loose, he'll be facing Barmes, Pence, and Lee in the bottom of the 6th inning. Red Sox will be back home for a day game tomorrow with Toronto. John Lackey pitching for Boston against Brandon Morrow, so they'll have that long trip and get back, probably get to their homes maybe early in the morning. This trip 4-4 so far for them. They've been a good road team this year, 26-18. They've won 17 of 23 on the road for Terry Francona. Get them in a very favorable spot, 14 above 500 right now. Barmes single to right center, and he struck out. And the Astros as well have a day game tomorrow in Pittsburgh. Liner to left field, and over for the catch, Reddick. 1 out on 1 pitch for Beckett. Hunter Pence single to right, then he struck out. We'll be on the air at noon tomorrow with Astros Live, and it's Brett Myers and Paul Maholm in Pittsburgh at 12:35. Carlos Lee's on deck. Strike 1 for Beckett. Beckett has struck out 9. Gives him 89 strikeouts for the year in 103 innings. 1-1 to Hunter, who leads the club in several departments. Homers, runs batted in, batting average, doubles, hits. A very good first half for Hunter. Two balls and a strike. Wandy Rodriguez and Jeff Karstens will duel Tuesday night at PNC Park. 5:30 is our airtime on FS Houston for Astros Live, and then Wednesday at that same time it's Bud Norris and Charlie Morton. Foul ball and a 2-2 count. David Carpenter on the bench there. Tossed a scoreless top of the 6th inning. Now the Astros are trying to grab their first lead of the day. Strikeout for Beckett. That's number 10. Man. He saved something.
Swing and miss at that high fastball, boy. That's talked about that earlier. That's a low percentage play. Trying to do much with that one.
Second 10 strikeout game this season for Beckett. He struck out 10 Yankees in 8 innings of 2-hit shutout ball and a 4-0 win in his second start. Carlos Lee takes strike one. He's 0 for 2. That one heads for left field and shallow for Reddick. It's an easy 6th inning for Beckett. And after 6, it's tied 1-1.
Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by Hyundai. It's time to join the movement. A lot of good food there. The Astros hope more good pitching on the mound. Another change, and all the info with Brownie and JD.
That looks delectable. Thank you, Greg. And it's Sergio Escalona taking over on the mound for the Astros here in a 1-1 game. David Carpenter in 1 inning allowed 1 hit, no runs, had no walks and a strikeout. Escalona's 1-1. His ERA is 3.46.
Sergio, the losing pitcher in Friday night's ball game, faced a couple of hitters. Allowed a hit, 2 runs, hit a man. This was the game Bud Norris pitched so well, but ended up allowing 4 earned runs in that game in 6 innings, but certainly pitched much better than his line indicated. He struck out 10 in that game.
This date in Astros history is brought to you by the MD Anderson Cancer Center, making cancer history. Ken Caminetti on July 3rd, 94, hit an inside the park homer. Biggio and Mouton also homered in a 12-6 win over the Cubs. Jacoby Ellsbury is the first man up here in the 7th inning. He's 1 for 3. Showing bunt, taking ball 1. And with Ellsbury and Gonzalez due to bat third, both left-handed hitters, Escalona is the selection to go in this inning. 1-1. Fernando Abad, the other lefty in the bullpen, gave up 4 hits, 4 runs in 1 inning last night in the 10-4 Boston win. So it's been a difficult weekend for Astros bullpen lefties. 2 balls and a strike. Fernando Rodriguez should be eligible to rejoin the Astros in the next day or two. He was sent down but has to stay down for 10 days before rejoining the club. That time is just about up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ellsbury has been neutralized by lefties to the tune of 242 with no homers. Now full count. Tigers 6, Giants 3, bottom of the 8th at Detroit. The leadoff walk. The appeal is denied by Corey Blazer. Walk number 6 for Astros pitching.
And the wrong guy to walk.
Yep. Stole his 26th base back in the 3rd inning. Pedroia has walked a couple of times in this game. Friday night the Red Sox threw 9 walks. Strike to Pedroia. They lead the American League in on base average and they're 2nd in walks. Dribbler goes foul and it's no balls, 2 strikes to Pedroia.
Well, I'm guessing if there were a right-hander on the mound, Ellsbury would have gone by now. It's not to say that he won't ultimately try to steal with Escalona out there, but when you look at the Astros' ineffectiveness at catching base runners this year, a guy like Ellsbury with a righty on the mound, he's flying. He's just taking a couple pitches here to get a sense of Escalona, see if he can get a read on him.
There's a shot into left field. Ellsbury to second on the single by Pedroia.
Base hit for Pedroia. Give an assist to Ellsbury because Escalona used a slide step there, and understandably so, trying to shut down the running game. But a lot of times when you do that, you don't quite make the pitch you're hoping to make. Watch how quickly he just steps and throws. And left the ball up a little bit, and Pedroia able to take advantage.
Now 2 men on, nobody out. Gonzalez bats. He's 0 for 2 with a walk.
Tie game, but boy, the Red Sox certainly have out base runnered the Astros today. They've had guys on base all afternoon long.
Sure have. They've left 8 men on compared to the Astros 3 left on base. And they bounced into a double play. Doesn't get away very far. And it's ball 1. Tampa Bay 5, St. Louis 3. They're in the top of the 8th at Tampa Bay. Lance Berkman hit his 22nd homer. (2-0) to Gonzalez. Red Sox had one terrific road trip, 8-1 to the Yankees, Toronto, and Tampa Bay. Downs with a flip. Farmas the middleman. 4-6-3 double play. Ellsbury to third. Second double play for the Astros.
Frustration level has to be awfully high in that Red Sox dugout. A lot of chances, but they pushed just the one across, and that's a big double play induced by Escalona.
It's the 19th double play grounded into by Adrian Gonzalez this year. Kevin Youkilis is 1 for 3. Now Doug Brocail comes out.
I think he just wants to make sure that everybody's on the same page as what they want to do here with a left-handed hitter on deck. How aggressive do you want to be with Youkilis?
That makes all the sense in the world because it's J.D. Drew on deck. So the thought being you don't have to give in to Youkilis here. Yankees just scored in the top of the 5th to tie the Mets 1-1. Strike to Youkilis. One and one. Last year Escalona pitched for Double-A Reading in the Phillies organization. They signed him in 04. From Venezuela. He reached the big leagues in 09. Out into center field. Michael Bourne there. And in the 7th inning, the Red Sox had runners at first and second with nobody out, but it's no runs, 1 hit. A runner stranded at third. As the 7th inning stretch arrives, these fans have a really good ball game and will stay here for the singing of God Bless America. Boston 1, Houston 1. Bottom of the 7th inning. We've just had a stirring 7th inning stretch. Patriotic time with soldiers on the field. God bless America from Joe Prince. And now it's Josh Beckett working to Matt Downs. Downs is 0 for 2. Puts it in the air, foul, and there is strike one for Josh Beckett. Beckett threw a one-hit shutout at Tampa Bay back on June 15th. Only hit an infield hit by Reed Brignac. He's been good today, allowing 4 hits, only 1 for extra bases. Wallace and Johnson to follow. That's foul back.
Extra hitters having a hard time laying off that elevated fastball, and they're also having a hard time doing anything with it. If you run into one, catch up to it, you can hit it a good long way, but that's a tough pitch to handle. Matt Downs been so good in the pinch this year, so Brad Mills wants to give him a chance to start some games, give him some more at bats to see how he can do. And I would think, if you're Matt, you have to fight the mindset of, well, I'm getting this chance, so I've got to get it done.
Right.
I got to get a hit. That thinking generally gets you out of your game plan. Just try to have good at bats.
Right fielder J.D. Drew moves over. Ellsbury watches Drew make the catch. We go to Greg Lucas.
As you know, Chevy is proud to support youth baseball leagues in your local community. And if you'd like to learn more about the Chevy Youth Baseball program, it's very simple. Just go to youthsportswired.com.
And I would think Brad Mills probably communicated something like that to Matt. Said, look, I'm going to try to get you some starts here in the next couple of weeks. So don't feel like when you're in the lineup, you got to make something big happen that day. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just go play.
Ball 1 to Wallace. Wallace powered a double to right center in the 5th inning and scored the tying run on a single by Sanchez, the pinch hitter for Lyles. 5 hits for the Red Sox, 4 for the Astros. Wallace fouls it. The Red Sox have outscored their opponents this year in the 7th inning, 75-31.
Good thing they're done hitting in the 7th.
They are a very good late inning team, and in the 8th inning they've outscored their foes 52-39. Wallace grounds it foul. 1 and 2, so you have the double whammy of the offense and a bullpen, or the starting pitcher staying in the game and working the 7th inning effectively. That's added up to a lot of good things for the Red Sox in late innings.
And you're not facing the other team's best relievers when you're playing with a lead.
Good point. Wallace chased it and struck out. That's number 11 for Beckett. Strikeout high this year.
All but one of them swinging. A variety of pitches. The high fastball, good breaking ball there. That's kind of been the trouble pitch for Wallace this year. That low breaking ball.
Chris Johnson with 2 Ks on his card comes up for the 3rd time. Tough pitch for strike 1.
Just too shy now of his career high in strikeouts. Punched out 13 Rays in Tampa back in 2008.
It's 1-1. Last time Beckett pitched here, he faced Brian Moeller in 08. Gave up 2 runs in 7 innings. Got a no decision.
What's Brian Moeller up to these days?
Sure.
He's got a handful of kids.
Yeah.
Not pitching anywhere, is he?
Not that I know of. No. He wanted to pitch this year. 89 pitches for Beckett. He could come up in the 8th inning if the Red Sox get something going. That one hit him. Johnson hit by the pitch with 2 outs. 7th hit batsman for Beckett.
I think they're trying to make a case that Johnson offered at the pitch. Now they're peeling it down to first base. Wally Bell saying no, did not go around. He certainly started his swing, but he was able to check it as the ball hit him on the right arm, it looked like.
That's the 7th time CJ's been hit by a pitch. That leads the Astros. Carlos Corporan has hit 2 fly balls to center field today. Jeff Keppinger is in the on-deck circle. Pitcher spot due up next. Right-hander throwing in the bullpen. Earlier it was Wilton Lopez. And it's Lopez again. Corporan takes it. It's ball 1 to Carlos. We'll have a chance to visit with Carlos Jr. Little infant born not too long ago over the All-Star break. He'll have a chance to see him. The youngster required heart surgery. Everything went well. Humberto Quintero has had 2 games, as we mentioned earlier, on his minor league rehab assignment from the high ankle sprain. Lopez in the bullpen. And he should be on track to rejoin the Astros after the All-Star break when they open up at home against Pittsburgh. So they'll be seeing a lot of the Pirates the next few days. To left field, Reddick. And in the 7th, it's no runs, no hits, and a man stranded. It's 1-1.
On Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by Chevy. Check out ChevyBaseball.com/Astros to win tickets and a trip to the 2011 Major League Baseball World Series. I've got something for you to put on your calendar for Saturday, July 16th. You can join the Astros for the second Faith and Family Night of 2011. The Astros will host the Pirates at 6:05, and after the game, fans can enjoy a free post-game concert with the David Crowder Band. And tickets start at only $7. Visit Astros.com today.
Thanks, Greg. We go to the 8th inning of a 1-1 game, and it's Escalona still in for the Astros. But J.D. Drew will come out for pinch hitter Darnell McDonald to give Terry Francona the percentage play. McDonald hit a long 3-run homer last night, his 2nd of the year. He's driven in 6. Showing bunt. There's ball 1. This way, no lefty on lefty confrontation for Francona.
So the Astros could counter. Brad Mills could bring Lopez in to face McDonald, but then you're dealing with a left-handed hitter on deck and Terry Francona with the option of then pinch hitting for McDonald with Big Papi.
Good point.
Probably rather keep Big Papi on the bench.
Well, that's a good thing usually. 2 balls and a strike to McDonald.
McDonald crushed a ball last night. The second home run of the year, a 3-run blast in the 8th, really changed the nature of that ball game. Pretty tight game up until that point.
Very good numbers against lefties. This one goes out to right field for Hunter Pence. 1 out. And Josh Reddick comes up. Here's the lefty on lefty matchup. Reddick has struck out twice and hit a fly ball to right. He looks at ball 1. Red Sox are 9-8 in interleague play this year. It's the most losses they've had in one year of interleague play since 04 when they went 9-9. 2 balls, no strikes. Well, they ran into Philadelphia and Pittsburgh on the first 2 legs of this road trip, and they were 2-4 in those games. 2 tough venues this year for visiting teams. 3-0 now. Reddick is the leader on all major league qualifiers in interleague batting average, .483. He draws a walk. That's the second walk for Escalona, number 7 for Astros pitching.
Astros been treading on thin ice all afternoon to walk 7 Red Sox and having allowed just 1 run. It's either really lucky or really good.
That'll be it for Escalona. With a runner at first and 1 out. Wilton Lopez heads for the mound with the score. Boston 1, Houston 1. Back in a moment.
Fourth and final player for each league roster until Thursday, July 7th. Go to Astros.com and cast your final All-Star Game final vote for the final 2 stars. And here are the National League Final 4. Pick one of these 5, and he will be going to the All-Star Game. In the American League, they also have a group of 5 that are up for it, including a former Astro farmhand, Ben Zobrist. He's one of them. Gordon Jones, Canerco, and Martin are the others.
Big Papi David Ortiz just being announced as the pinch hitter for Reddick. Will face Wilton Lopez, just in the game with a runner at first and 1 out in the Boston 8th inning. Ortiz 0 for 3 with an RBI in this series. 302, 17 homers, 49 runs batted in. He's an all-star. And there's strike one, a 7-time all-star now. Lopez worked to one batter in last night's game. He got a blown save Friday night, coming in with a 5-3 lead in the 7th inning, and the bases loaded. Throwing 20 pitches, giving up 2 hits and 1 run in 1 inning. Ground ball, Barnes to his right with the toss to Downs. Downs relays to Wallace. It's a double play. Number 3 of the day for the Astros, and they keep it tied 1-1 in the 8th inning. To the bottom of the 8th inning, and there are changes for Terry Francona. Darnell McDonald, the pinch hitter for J.D. Drew, stays in to play right field after hitting the fly ball to right. Marco Scutaro takes over at shortstop for Navarro after Ortiz pinch hit for Navarro and grounded into a double play. Josh Beckett still on the mound, and it'll be Jeff Kappinger pinch hitting for the pitcher Wilton Lopez, leading off the bottom of the 8th inning. Lopez got a very big double play ball there from Ortiz. Escalona went 1 1/3 innings. He allowed 1 hit, no runs, walking 2 with no strikeouts, and Lopez 2/3 of an inning. The pitching line including zeros after that. Now Jeff Kappinger, 319, 2 homers, 13 runs batted in. He's had 119 at bats this year. 1 for 3 as a pinch hitter. And hits one by Scutaro into left field, jumping on the first pitch from Beckett for a pinch single.
Angel Sanchez had the RBI pinch single back in the 5th to tie the ball game. So the bench guys for Brad Mills getting it done this afternoon. Bourne up there, most likely to drop down a bunt.
Michael's 0 for 3 in this game. He has put down 1 sacrifice bunt this year.
Well, he's been swinging, though. I'd be tempted. He's not having a good day today.
Pitch out.
Francona thinking maybe the Astros might be playing a little run and hit, and that's the other thing. I mean, the situation is, certainly can understand the bunt, but with Bourne's speed, letting him swing away gives you options. One, he might juice one into the gap, and now you got two men on. nobody out, and if he grounds into a forced play, then he could steal second base for you. So you would have at least had the shot of getting something done with Michael swinging the bat, and you'd still have a man in scoring position. Problem is, you just can't count on contact today with Beckett out there and all the strikeouts he's racking up.
11. Beckett is due up second in the 9th inning. Josh has given up 5 hits. That's how many the Red Sox have as well. 5 hits in the game. Takes high, showing bunt, and it's 2-0.
That's the situation sometimes where you'll take the bunt off. Just turn on those fingers. He's going to get a triple fastball here on 2 balls and no strikes. Give him one shot to try to. He's not a home run hitter, but yank one down the line or split the gap.
The bunt goes out toward Beckett. And it's a sacrifice from 1 to 4. Keppinger to second, 1 out for Barmes.
Beckett's foot slipped a little bit when he made that throw, and if he'd lost control, that would have been disastrous for the Red Sox.
He and Varitek talk it over before facing Barmes, who's 1 for 3.
Back foot skidding on him a little bit.
Barmes singled to right center in the first, then he struck out, and the third time up it was a fly ball to left on the first pitch. Strike one on the big curveball with Hunter Pence on deck. Red Sox have stranded 9. The Astros have left 4.
Clint hitting .386 on this homestand prior to today.
One and one. Yeah, he's feeling pretty good about the changes he's made in his swing.
Red Sox outfielders are shortened up a little bit. They want to have a shot at Keppinger on a line drive single to the outfield. Not particularly strong arms in the Red Sox outfield.
One and two. 38,035 that paid attendance. Nice crowds this weekend. Last night it was 39,021. Friday night 36,279. Red Sox, you might have noticed on that graphic a moment ago, 1 for 11 with men in scoring position. The Astros 1 for 6. Varitek goes to the mound. Pittsburgh 10, Washington 2 in the top of the 9th in our nation's capital. Looks as if the Pirates will be facing the Astros come tomorrow afternoon with a record of 43 and 41. They were 2.5 behind Milwaukee and St. Louis when they took the field today. 2-2 now to Barmes, so the Pirate fans ought to be very appreciative when they come back to start that homestand tomorrow. Cardinals have lost 8-3 at Tampa Bay. Jeremy Hellickson winning that one, beating Kyle Loesch. Kyle Farnsworth got the save. Milwaukee is winning in the bottom of the 7th, 7-5 at Minnesota as the Brewers try to take over first place again by themselves. Scudero. 2 outs, and it's Hunter Pence. As 2 All-Stars square off. Pence is 1 for 3, a single to right field in the first, 2 strikeouts in the 4th and 6th. Beckett's thrown 101 pitches.
Decision time now for Beckett and Veritek as to how aggressive they want to be with Hunter with a base open.
Carlos Lee, who's on deck, is 0 for 3. That's out to center field. Ellsbury for the 3rd out. It's no runs, a hit, and a man stranded. Moving to the 9th. Red Sox 1, Astros 1. The error belongs to the Astros, leading to the unearned run in the 4th by the Red Sox. The Astros will go with pitcher number 5 for the 9th inning, Mark Melancon. 5-1, 6 saves in 9 opportunities, a 3.08 ERA.
Not seen a lot of action lately. He's not had many save opportunities. This is not one. It's a 1-1 ball game. He worked a 1/3 of an inning in the finale of the Rangers series just to come in and get a little work. Little being the operative word. Faced 1 batter, got him out, took 2 pitches. So that's all the work he has had in the last, 6 days, 7 days.
Yeah. And as Melancon gets loose, the Red Sox are preparing to pinch hit for Beckett, who's due up 2nd. Jason Veritek to lead it off. And it's switch hitting Drew Sutton on deck to pinch hit, and then Jacoby Ellsbury will be due up 3rd in the 9th. Veritek doubled off the left field wall in the 6th inning with 2 outs. He walked in the 3rd, 1 for 2 today. So Melancon had that brief appearance JD talked about on Thursday with the final out of a 7-0 win. As the Astros got 1 in that 3-game series from the Rangers. Now that's all they can get here in this set from Boston if they claim this one today. And it's strike 1 for Melancon. Carpenter, Escalona, Lopez all pitching scoreless baseball today in relief of Jordan Lyles, who went the first 5 and gave up an unearned run. In tight for a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Veritek. Sutton, who's on deck, is the only other remaining position player available other than Jared Saltalamacchia, the catcher for Terry Francona, who's already used Ortiz, Scudero, and McDonald. One and two. Yankees 1, Mets 1, bottom of the 7th inning at Citi Field. Freddie Garcia pitching well for the Pinstripers. In the dirt for ball 2. 2-2 Veritek. Cincinnati down Cleveland 7-5 the final in Cincinnati. Mike Leake going to 8-4. He beat Mitch Talbot as 2-5. Francisco Cordero got save number 17. Broken bat roller. Wallace tossing to Melanson. 1 out in the 9th.
Melanson really uses that cut fastball effectively. He throws it hard. You know, you can throw 95 miles an hour with his four-seamer, but he throws a cutter, so he takes a little off and he just runs in on the left-hander's hands at about 92 miles an hour. He gets a lot of weak ground balls with that pitch.
Drew Sutton hit a pinch hit grand slam at Cincinnati against the Astros last year. 318, no homers, 7 runs batted in for the 28-year-old infielder from El Dorado, Arkansas. Went to Baylor. And strike 1 for Sutton. 15th round pick of the Astros in 04, and Sutton was traded to Cincinnati for Jeff Keppinger in 09. Last year he played for Cleveland as well as Cincinnati. Sutton's had 44 at bats with the Red Sox. 1 for 3 pinch hitting. No balls, 2 strikes. Josh Beckett threw 102 pitches, 69 for strikes. In 8 innings, he allowed the Astros 5 hits, 1 run, walking nobody, fanning 11. Hitting a batter. Excellent day for Beckett, giving up only a 5th inning 2-out pinch RBI single by Sanchez for the only run. He could still get win number 7 if the Red Sox take the lead here and hold it. Melanson thinking the other way, and it's 2-2. The Astros have lead. Downs and Wallace due up in the bottom of the 9th. Melanson could get the win if he puts up a 0 or even allows runs, and the Astros win it in the bottom of the 9th.
I'd say it's a pretty good weekend for Beckett to come back home, see some family and friends, maybe grab a meal at your favorite haunt, and then punch out 11.
Pretty much the way you draw it up if you're a starting pitcher, right?
I guess the idea would be to do that in the first game of the series. Then you can just kick back for the rest of the weekend.
Really enjoy it, yeah. It's Baltimore 5, Atlanta 4. They're in the bottom of the 9th in Atlanta. Astros have turned 3 double plays in this game. Still a full count to Sutton. Sutton was ranked 8th among the Astros prospects in 09 by Baseball America. Had a good year at Corpus Christi in 08 with 20 homers, 69 runs batted in. Brought a .229 major league average into this season. He draws a pinch walk with 1 out. Jacoby Ellsbury comes to the batter's box with a hit and a walk today.
This team can flat out walk. They're a good walking club, boy.
That's 8 today. Only 3 last night, but they got 13 hits and 9 Friday night. So 20 walks in the 3-game series. That's a nice average.
Yeah, it leads to winning baseball. It's not necessarily entertaining baseball, but it's winning baseball.
Absolutely. And, you know, they're just postponing outs and putting constant traffic on the bases when they draw all these walks. Making the pitcher work. There's a smash into right field. Sutton will stop at second base. He looked at Tim Bogart, third base coach, and held up at second on the sharp single by Ellsbury to right. It's his 100th hit of the year.
A sharply hit that allowed it to get through the infield, but it made it difficult for Sutton to get to third base. And that ball got out to Hunter Pence in a hurry.
Sutton had to dodge that ball a little bit too. That slowed him down some. Not much. Two on, one out. Pedroia the batter. Bogart, former Astros shortstop.
Just telling Sutton he throws a lot of curveballs, so be ready for that ball in the dirt.
Pedroia's been on 3 times in a row, twice on walks, and then he singled in the 7th. Pedroia's hitting .278 with men in scoring position. Gonzalez is on deck. Good incentive for a double play ball. Strike to Pedroia. Pedroia's grounded into 6 double plays this season. Pretty animated discussion there on the Astros bench with Brad Mills, his bench coach Al Padrique. Meanwhile, there's Jonathan Papelbon alongside Bobby Jenks in the Boston bullpen. Pedroia steps in.
I'm not sure who Brad was talking to. I think he was trying to communicate with Downsy or somebody out there in the infield as to where they wanted him positioned.
Okay, yeah.
What they're having him do is Pedroia likes to hit the ball through that hole on the right side, so he's starting at where you normally play typical double play depth, and then cheating a couple of steps to his left to try to plug that hole a little bit. You want to play for the double play here, but base hit could cost you the ball game. So you defend against where he's most likely to hit the ball.
Two and two. Well, there's a lot of subtlety to this sport, isn't there? Constant things going on with positioning and changing pitch by pitch sometimes. Things that they want to do.
Yeah, around the major leagues off and on since 1984. That's a good long while. I still learn a lot of stuff. As a former pitcher, there are certain things about infield and outfield play, and obviously hitting that I have no clue about.
Pedroia fouls it.
A lot of inside stuff, little subtle stuff. And I saw Buck Showalter earlier this year on TV talking about reading the shin guards of the catcher.
Oh?
Yep. So keep an eye on the shin guards. The shin guards don't lie. So what he's saying is if you're a base runner and you see that they start to angle down, that ball's going to be in the dirt, take off. First time I'd ever heard that.
The appeal went to first. He checked his swing, and it's 3-2 on Pedroia. This is what the Red Sox can do to a pitcher. Take those pitches off the plate. Gonzalez on deck. Now 3-2 with one out. Sutton at second, Ellsbury at first.
Red Sox have already grounded into 3 double plays today.
Well, if they don't hit into one here, Francona's got to be feeling pretty good about getting Gonzalez to the plate, the Major League RBI leader, in the 9th inning of a 1-1 game. Barmas to his right, throws back to second, and that's all. Good play by Barmas and Downs. But Gonzalez will bat with runners at first and third and 2 outs now.
Now he'll come up to the plate. Whether he bats or not remains to be seen.
We're getting the old, let's make him chase one or go ahead and walk him.
It's a tough call because you've got a good patient hitter in Kevin Youkilis on deck.
But Brocail's going to help with that call.
Well, and last time Broke went out there when Escalona was out there, we thought the message that he was going to deliver, and Youkilis was the hitter, then was to be careful with him. But that was not obviously not the message because Escalona pretty much went right after Youkilis. It was back in the 7th when Youkilis ended up lining out to center field to end the inning.
Might be asking Melanson what his preference is here. Gonzalez is 0 for 3 with a walk. Bounced into a double play in the 7th inning. Pedroia the runner at first. A good base stealer. He stole second base in the 5th.
He would probably have second. I don't think the Astros will throw through. It looks like they're going to put him on.
Interesting. Intentional walk with first base occupied to load the bases. Certainly a very justifiable move with the prowess of Gonzalez.
At this stage of the ball game, the only run that really matters is the one down on third base. Well, it's almost like a second and third situation to begin. Again, Pedroia, if he wanted to, was going to be able to steal second base. He probably would have stayed there in the hopes that they would pitch to Gonzalez.
Now, this is a solid move for many reasons. One is that with the bases loaded, now Wallace doesn't have to hold that runner at first, which would give Gonzalez that hole to right field the way it was now with Pedroia there.
If I were pitching to Gonzalez, I wouldn't have held him anyway. I would play behind Pedroia. Just let him have second base.
Yeah. And now bases loaded, and Youkilis is 1 for 4.
This is, and again, it's, you know, there would be those that would argue this is a no-brainer call because that's Adrian Gonzalez and he's got all these RBIs, but that's not an easy decision to make because now you've got the bases loaded and you're facing a guy who walks a lot.
And he has 56 RBIs. 6th in the American League. Ball 1.
If Q is catching, he'd pick somebody off right now.
Youkilis is 1 for 1 in his career against Melanson.
That's the downside to setting up the bases loaded situation. Now Melanson's got to make a big time pitch here. Obviously can't afford to walk him. At some point you got to take your shot.
Sutton, Pedroia, and Gonzalez, the base runners. 3-1 to Youkilis. Youkilis is a .297 hitter with men in scoring position this year.
Mark just basically threw him a get-over fastball right over the heart of the plate. Knowing he was taking all the way there, won't be here.
And he walked in the go-ahead run, 2-1 Boston. Third walk of the inning. 10th walk of the game. RBI number 57 for Youkilis. 2-1 Boston. Now McDonald bats.
And that's the walk everybody will focus on. But for me, the one-out walk to Sutton is the key. That's what got things started. Far less dangerous hitter in a far less dangerous situation.
Strike to McDonald. 21 walks in the series by the Red Sox hitters. Lee, Downs, and Wallace are due up in the Astros ninth. And Josh Beckett could be the winning pitcher in this game. Lansing's thrown 32 pitches. One hopper. Johnson to third. And the Red Sox snap the tie with a run on one hit. They leave three. It's 2-1 Boston.
On Fox Sports Houston, brought to you by the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today.
Hot food, a hot ball game. The Red Sox have just broken the 1-1 tie, which had been in existence since the 5th inning. And now it's 2-1 Boston with closer Jonathan Papelbon coming out of the bullpen. Papelbon has 16 saves in 17 opportunities. His record is 2-0. And the batting average against him, .242, as he tries to get his second of the series here.
Not likely to beat himself. He's only walked 6 men this year in 31 2/3 innings. Allowed a couple of home runs. Got that mid-90s heater. Good split finger pitch.
Saved a 7-5 win Friday night in one scoreless inning. He gave up a hit to Hunter Pence. It'll be Lee, Downs, and Wallace due up in the Astros ninth inning against Papelbon. Been an all-star 4 times in his career. Warming up now, and Carlos Lee is watching. He's 0 for 3 in this game. Red Sox are 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position, but they have the lead. Veritek out to talk it over. Josh Beckett giving his club a solid 8 innings of 5-hit, 1-run baseball. And now the Sox turn it over to Papelbon as they try to sweep this 3-game interleague series. Papelbon saved the Thursday game at Philadelphia as well. That's the first time he's had saves in consecutive games since he had 3 straight the 3rd week in April. Strike 1 to Lee, who made the final out of the 7-5 Boston win with Papelbon on the mound Friday night. The ground out to second. It's 1-1 from Papelbon, who is the Red Sox all-time save leader, 204. 30 years old, from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, went to Mississippi State. Papelbon set the rookie record, if you will, for saves by the All-Star break in 06 with 26. Craig Kimbrell's been close to that for Atlanta this year. 26 saves by the All-Star break. 2-1.
Averaging better than the strikeout per inning for his career. His strikeout to walk ratio this year is almost 7-1.
In 07, he had a postseason ERA of 0. In 08, he had 41 saves. It's 2-2.
Little off. Carlos well out in front. Carlos hit a rocket to third base back in the first. Astros had runners on first and second and 1 out. He hit a bullet right at Euclid.
That's strike 3. Lee vociferous in his objections to the Scott Berry call. 1 out.
Now borderline pitch. Number 5 there. Fox Tracks had it on the edge. It's a tough pitch. You can swing at it. Don't have to do much with it.
Matt Downs is 0 for 3. He hit a game-winning homer off the Rangers closer, Neftali Feliz. Fouls it back. There's strike 1. Brett Wallace is on deck. Batting average against Papelbon, .242. One's inside and tried to check, but the home plate umpire calls it for a swing. No balls, 2 strikes. Pittsburgh won 10-2 at Washington. Kevin Correa, the winner, is now 11-6.
But not an all-star. Correct. Yeah. Hanrahan made it.
Right.
I don't know what Correa's number on average is. Bruce Bochy, you got that pulpit as the manager. You get to take who you want. He's bringing Ryan Vogelsong, who's done a nice job for them, but I don't know that he's an all-star. He's a heck of a nice story. Hasn't been in the big leagues for 3 or 4 years.
Correa's ERA is 3.74. Out of the way. Well, again, we've talked in the past about managers having the leeway to take their own players. Some of us feel it would be nice to take them out of the mix.
Yeah, because it puts one, it gives them an opportunity that so some other guys get stiffed. It also puts pressure on them. He's also bringing Kane and Lincecum. You can't argue with those choices.
Nope. Toronto beat the Phillies 7-4. Octavio Dotel got that win, beating Cliff Lee, who allowed 3 homers, including Bautista's 27th. 2-2 now to Downs. Porcello in Detroit down San Francisco 6-3. Alberti got his 20th save. Cubs beat the White Sox 3-1. That win went to Lopez over Floyd. Marmol got his 17th save. And a strikeout gets out number 2 for Papelbon. Devastating split finger pitch. Astros are down to their final out, and it's Brett Wallace batting. He doubled and scored their run in the 5th. He struck out twice as well. The Astros with a 1-7 record on this homestand, hoping for something big from Wallace. Chris Johnson on deck.
He's just missed driving one out of here in the 5th when he hit that leadoff double off Beckett. He got a low fastball to the wall in front of the Astros bullpen. That would work. Good little low heater.
Yeah.
Not that low.
Right for Papelbon.
Pouring with one hand and shoveling seeds into his mouth with the other. Nervous times for the managers. These 1-run games.
1-1. Balls and a strike.
Hard split finger pitch.
Sure is. That's a late movement, and it's 2-2 now.
Left-handed hitters, probably because of that splitter, have not done much with Papelbon. They're hitting just .206 against him.
Tied. A lot of the Red Sox fans are up and applauding. Now it goes to 3-2. Side and past a diving Pedroia into right field for a 2-out hit for Wallace. And the Astros get Johnson to the plate.
Boy, nice job by Wally. Came back to that split finger pitch one more time, and he didn't crush it. He was able to make good enough contact to get a knock. behind Bogasev is going to run for him. It's a 3-2 splitter. Stays on the plate and up enough where Brett can get the barrel on it just a little bit and yank it through that hole.
Pedroia diving for it. Wallace 2 for 4, leads for the pinch runner Bogasevic, and it's Johnson batting. He's 0 for 2, hit by a pitch. What a sweet moment this would be for Chris Johnson if he could hit one out of this ballpark.
I'm thinking the same thing, Brownie.
His father watching from the Boston bench. Jason Michaels is on deck. Catcher Spot Corporon due up next.
Settle for a stolen base and an RBI single, but I do like the notion of a walk-off home run. That would be a lot of fun.
Oh, so much drama, and they've talked about it. Hey, this is competition. This is about winning. After the game, we're a family. That's strike one on the fastball. 93 from Papelbon.
I don't care what dugout I'm in. If my kid goes deep to win the game inside, I'm awfully pumped.
You bet.
Especially in the regular season. Swing. It's tough to get to that high either.
0-2 now. Red Sox have stranded 12 with the Astros 5 left on base.
No doubles deployment in the outfield for the Sox. Very deep.
Strike 3 call, and the Red Sox sweep this 3-game interleague series. Josh Beckett gets win number 7. Papelbon picks up save number 17. And the Red Sox get a run in the top of the 9th on a bases loaded walk and beat the Astros 2-1.